Hey there, good morning, good afternoon. I want to welcome you all here to the Prog Monster channel. My name is Murph. I am the host of this channel. So we're here today again for episode 3 of the series I'm running, the mini-series I'm running, which is my 5 favorite albums featuring Neil Young. And the album we're doing today is Freedom, released back in '89. This album I bought when it came out, which is unusual for me. There's a lot of times I never did that, but there's a few albums that happened with early on, like in the late '80s. I did this. I used to buy the albums when they came out in the early '80s, and then I started doing it again since I've been on the channel. But there wasn't as many in the middle. They were usually bought many years after, or a few years after. But this one I got right in '89. This is called Freedom. I'm not sure what number of the studio album this is for him, but I've always liked this album. It's a little bit long for me, but it's outside of my wheelhouse in length. But overall, it has some really solid stuff. Mostly, it's mostly known for that hard rocker, Rockin' in the Free World. But the rest of the album is more acoustic flavored, quieter, not as heavy, but really interesting. So released on October the 2nd in 1989, featuring Neil Young, Chad Cromwell, Rick Russo, Frank Zapita, and Ben Keith, all playing on this album. Now, I'm not sure, but I don't think Crazy Horse is on this album. Pretty sure they're not. You got some members of it there, but not all of the full members on here. There are half a dozen on this track albums that are among my favorite Neil Young songs, that are among my favorite Neil Young tracks. But it's closely, it's got that same kind of thing that they had on Rust Never Sleeps, which was the album I did yesterday. If you want to see that episode, you can go back and watch it. But you got Rockin' in the Free World at the beginning and one at the end, bookending it. One of them is a heavy version, the other is an acoustic version. Both are really good. I prefer the heavy version because the guitar is driving in it, and I like my heavy Neil Young. A couple other songs on here I quite like as well. Don't cry, my sweet girl, nothing you say is written in stone. Love that track. The Way of Love, another really solid track here. The Crime in the City is kind of a confusing track. 60 to 0 Part 1. This is I have a hard time. I've listened to it. I've looked at the lyrics and followed it. It's kind of strange. I guess I'm just not understanding what he's getting at here. Someday, which is the song. I believe the song was written about Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox. I believe that's who it was written about. I don't think he actually ever uses the name, but he does use the name Rommel, and there's a line where he says Rommel wore a ring around his finger, only took it off when he flew his plane. That is a direct understanding about the character of Erwin Rommel, because he was like that. When he flew his plane to his battle sites, he never wore his ring. I remember that. So I've always liked that song because of the historic significance of it. On Broadway, this is kind of a cover. Wrecking Ball is good. No More, Too Far Gone. Yeah, another really good one. These are all really good tracks. There's a lot of excellent tracks. I would like to say Someday is probably my favorite track, but I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes I like the real heavy version of Rockin' in the Free World, but I think it's overplayed, so I tend to stick with Someday as my favorite track on the album. It's really catchy. There's a lot of emotional stuff on this album, which makes it personal. And it came at a time when I was going to school and doing a lot of studying and stuff. And this was one of the 2 or 3 albums that I had that I was listening to a lot in that period of time. And so Freedom, that's my choice for today. Really good album. I highly recommend it. If you're breaking into Neil Young, this one might be a little closer to where you are now. And that's part of the reason why I highly recommend it. If you like the harder stuff, probably won't like this one as much. There's not as much hard stuff on this other than the title track itself. The rest of the album is pretty acoustic sounding. So not one of the harder albums that I would highly recommend, but still very solid album. And that's it. That's the main reasons I like the album, or just for the reasons I've said, because I got it brand new. It wasn't overplayed on the radio. It came while I was in school. It was one of the 2 or 3 albums I listened to a lot, and it gave me a lot of solace back to that at the beginning of my school years in college. So, that's pretty much the reason why I chose it. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you got any comments about Freedom or Neil Young or anything you want to add, you can do that in the comment section. Also, please hit the like and subscribe, as that helps the channel quite a bit. And we'll be back tomorrow with episode number 4. Take care and have yourself a good evening. Goodbye here from the Prog Monster.